Hello everyone, my name is DM Rawlings, the 10-Minute DM. I am an experienced Forged in the Dark GM. I am here to offer my advice 10 minutes at a time. So once again, we're dipping our toes into Blades in the Dark consequences. Today, I want to talk about reduced effect. So first off, what is it? When you use reduced effect as a consequence, the action still succeeds, but maybe not as well or completely as the character intended. Two big notes about reduced effect. Number one, for fairly obvious reasons, reduced effect only works on a mixed success, which is a 4 or 5 on the highest die in an action roll. It does not work on a failure, which is a 1 to 3, because you cannot reduce the effect of a success if they didn't actually succeed on the roll. And number two, reduced effect should never take away a character's success. Even when using this consequence, a player should feel like they are progressing. So let's take a look at an example here. Morgan is chasing something across Newfair's rooftops. Ahead, they see a gap between buildings and they try to jump it using move. Their highest die is a 4, meaning they only manage a mixed success. If the stakes were low, Morgan makes it to the other side, but lands on something wet and slippery. The creature you're chasing gains ground. If the stakes were medium, Morgan makes it across the divide, but not as far as they hoped. They find themselves dangling from the ledge of the building across the way. And if the stakes are high, Morgan doesn't jump far enough and slams through a glass window, taking body harm. The chase continues, but they are now a floor beneath the creature. To give you a sense of the breadth of what's possible with this consequence type, I've broken out some more examples into categories for you. The first, limited function. You repair a device, but it's only going to work one time. You notice that there's an ambusher, but failed to notice that there were actually several. You convince a spirit to answer you, but they leave out some kind of key detail. Or maybe you're dealing with limited progress. You hit someone, but it's not as deep a wound as you hoped. You were able to scale a wall, but it took longer than you wanted. You disabled the first part of a multi-stage trap. Or maybe this has to do with limited access. She accepts your forged invitation, but she's going to keep her eye on you throughout the night. You are able to interpret these sacred runes, but the language is poetic and metaphorical. You're able to case a building, but you're unable to get a look at the basement. A few observations here. Reduced effect can be a frustrating consequence for players if it's used too frequently or if it's used too aggressively. Even if you're not undoing the success, sometimes it can feel that way. So a few tricks that I've learned over the years is to make these mixed successes feel more dramatic. Make them present new challenges that call upon new approaches to solve. Make it force a difficult decision at some point in the future. Make it pull in other characters so that it engages more people. Make it require a different action to resolve. And as always, let your sense of the fiction take the wheel. Reduced effect also works great with progress clocks. I'll put my video on clocks up above. So in this case, if we're working with progress clocks, we are going to mark 1 tick instead of 2, and that demonstrates that they just didn't get as far as they hoped. And it forces additional rolls and approaches to solve that eventual problem. And one more observation is, while we've been talking about reduced effect, there's also something to be said about enhanced effect that is really fun to play with. And this is obviously the opposite of reduced effect. The thing you wanted to do works, but it works too well. You strike someone so hard that you inadvertently kill them. The explosion goes off, but it also levels the structures next to your target. You convince the guard you belong there, so much so that they want to help you. The ritual draws the attention of an even stronger spirit than you intended. So when do we use lost opportunities? In my mind, the primary reason that you do is to keep the tension going. I really like putting characters in vulnerable spots with this consequence, but there are other reasons as well. You can compel a character to finish solving the problem a different way, and you're not done with the obstacle or problem and want the fun continue. Is another good reason to keep things lying around. So in closing, if you've been enjoying this series on consequences so far, go ahead and click subscribe so that you'll be notified the next time a video goes live. We are now halfway through the 6 consequence types. That means that next Tuesday, we're going to take a little break, and we're going to talk about how I train myself to improv consequences on the spot. You do not want to miss this video, because it doesn't matter how many tools you have in your tool belt if you don't practice swinging that hammer. Anyways, I've been DM Rawlings, the 10-Minute DM. Thank you so much for watching.